Hello everyone. Today's class is about electromagnetic waves. You already know about electromagnetic waves, that these are the kind of energy which travel in vacuum, right? All kinds of rays that we are receiving from the sun, they are of electromagnetic nature. In general, the energy always exists in the form of waves. So these waves are classified into two kinds. One is the mechanical waves and other one is the non-mechanical waves. Mechanical waves are the one which involves the physical motion of the constituent particles of the medium, right? So the mechanical waves are the one which when they travel through a medium, they always require the motion of the constituent particles of the medium. So if there is no medium, the mechanical waves cannot propagate or travel. On the other side, the non-mechanical waves, these are the waves which do not require any material, we can say, to propagate or medium to propagate. They do not require any motion of the particles of the medium to move, right? So these are called as the non-mechanical waves, and these are also given the name electromagnetic waves. So here we will talk about the electromagnetic waves. What are these and how the concept or understanding of electromagnetic waves comes into existence. So let us try to start. So electromagnetic waves are nothing but the energy which travels. This energy, as name suggests, electromagnetic wave. Wave is a kind of meaning of energy, because energy travels in the form of the waves. So electromagnetic name, as it suggests, it is combination of two names, electric and magnetic. So that means this kind of energy is called as electromagnetic wave, which involve both electric and magnetic energies, or we can say waves. So this is the general diagram for the representation of electromagnetic waves. We will try to understand it a bit later. So let us try to first comprehend about electromagnetic waves. Okay, so what are electromagnetic waves? So these are the waves which are constituted by the electric and the magnetic fields. Because our understanding till now, we have come to know, based on our understanding, what we have discussed till now, we have come to know that a changing electric field means this is due to the motion of the charged particles. The changing electric field, it is due to the motion of the charged particle. This changing electric field, it creates a magnetic field, means this acts as a source of the magnetic field, and at the same time changing magnetic field also produces a electric field. So that means electric and magnetic field coexist at a place where electric and magnetic field, they coexist, or we can say they exist together. They are called as the electromagnetic waves. They exist as the electromagnetic waves which travel in one particular direction. But the thing here to understand is that, so for that the electric field changes in one plane and the magnetic field produced, it is in the other plane. Other plane is the one which is perpendicular to the plane of the electric field. Plane to the perpendicular to the plane of the change of the electric field. So both electric and magnetic field change in order to produce each other. They change in perpendicular planes. Electric field, if for example electric field changes along the horizontal plane, then the magnetic field will change along the vertical plane, perpendicular to the horizontal one. So this changing electric field produces magnetic field, and changing magnetic field produces the magnetic field. So whenever they coexist together just like this, then they produce the waves, not produced, but they are said to be the electromagnetic waves. So electromagnetic wave is a wave in which electric and magnetic fields are perpendicular to each other and also perpendicular to the direction of the propagation of the waves. Wave means electromagnetic wave. The direction in which the electromagnetic wave will propagate, it will be perpendicular to both electric and magnetic fields. So for simplification, if we take this variation of the blue line as the electric field, then the magnetic field will be perpendicular to it. We are taking it along the horizontal plane. So this is the electric field is varying in vertical plane, magnetic field is varying in horizontal plane perpendicular to the electric field. Then the electromagnetic wave will be propagating in a direction which is perpendicular to both electric and magnetic field along this direction. So for easiness to understand, you can take the direction of the variation of electric field along y-axis, the direction of variation of magnetic field along z-axis, then the electromagnetic wave will be propagating along the x-axis, which is perpendicular to both y and z-axis, or in general we can say the direction of propagation of electromagnetic wave is such that it is perpendicular to both electric as well as magnetic field, constituting together the electromagnetic wave. And if it is wave, you already know about the wavelength and frequency of the wave. These are the two properties which are associated with a energy in the form of a wave. So if it is electromagnetic wave, which is a kind of non-mechanical wave, it also possesses these properties of wavelength as well as frequency. Okay, so as we represent the diagram of electromagnetic waves, to represent the electromagnetic wave, we have this simple diagram. The electric field is changing along the y-axis. It is having the variation along the y-axis. Due to this changing electric field along the y-axis, a changing magnetic field is created and in a direction which is perpendicular to the electric field. So therefore the magnetic field will be along z direction, for example, right? So magnetic field is getting created and changing magnetic field is created by changing electric field, which in turn, this changing magnetic field in turn produces the changing electric field. So they are coexisting together. So electric field is along the y-axis, the magnetic field is along the z-axis, then the electromagnetic wave, these energy together, which we call as electromagnetic wave, it will be propagating, traveling along the x direction, which is perpendicular to both y and z axis, right? So there are the few important terms which are associated with the electromagnetic waves, which are listed here. These are called as the properties of the electromagnetic waves. You must observe these properties very carefully. First one is the variations in both electric and magnetic fields occur simultaneously. Simultaneously means at the same time. Therefore, they attain their maxima, minimum at the same place and at the same time. So this is the first property of electromagnetic waves, how the electric and magnetic fields exist in electromagnetic waves. Next is the direction of electric and magnetic fields are mutually perpendicular to each other and as well as to the direction of propagation of the waves, just as we have discussed. The electric field vector E means the electric field and the magnetic field vector B means the magnetic field are related by this relationship. C, small c, it is equal to E naught divided by B naught, where E naught and B naught are the amplitudes, or we can say highest values of electric field and highest values of magnetic field, peak values. So these are the amplitudes of the electric field and the amplitude of magnetic field. And C, it is nothing but the speed of the light. So that means the speed of the light, or we can say speed of electromagnetic waves, it is given by ratio of the amplitude of electric field to the amplitude of the magnetic field. So you must remember this formula for the exam point of view as well as for your understanding. So these are the few things. Next property is about velocity, as just we have discussed. Velocity of the electromagnetic wave in free space. It can also be written as C is equal to 1 upon root of mu naught epsilon naught. You already know what mu naught and epsilon naught are. Mu naught is nothing but the permeability of the free space and epsilon naught is the permittivity of the free space. This free space is either air or it is vacuum, because the values of permeability and permittivity for the air is very close to the values of that of vacuum. So this is the second formula for the velocity of the electromagnetic waves. The velocity of electromagnetic waves in a material medium, suppose that there is a medium other than the free space, then the velocity of the electromagnetic wave, it will be represented by, of course, 1 upon root of mu into epsilon. Mu is the permeability of that material medium and epsilon is the permeability of that, permittivity of the that material medium, absolute values. Okay. Next property is that electromagnetic waves obey the principle of superposition, as you have discussed in your earlier class of 11th, in case where we observed the mechanical wave sound as the mechanical wave, and we discussed the superposition of the waves, sound waves. So in the similar manner, electromagnetic waves also follow the principle of superposition. Means at a point, whenever there are two or more than two electromagnetic waves impose, then the resultant wave is known by the principle of superposition. Next is electromagnetic waves carry energy as they propagate through the space, and this energy is divided equally between electric and magnetic field. So at any point in the space, or at a point in the medium, the energy carried by the electromagnetic waves, half of it is due to the electric field and other half is due to the magnetic field. This is what it means. So electromagnetic waves can transfer energy as well as momentum to the object placed in their paths, right? So the electromagnetic waves means kind of energy. It can impart the energy to the particles which are, or objects which are coming in the path of the electromagnetic waves. Not just energy but also momentum. It can make the particles to move. You will understand this in the coming chapters of dual nature of radiation, where we will discuss the phenomena of photoelectric effect. Next is for the optical effects of electromagnetic waves, more significance is given to electric field. Okay, so optical or optics stands with the visible effect of the light. So light forms one part of the electromagnetic waves. Light is also an electromagnetic wave. It is one part of the electromagnetic wave. So whenever we want to discuss the optical effects or optics, as in general we call it to be, it is due to the electric field vector. So therefore the optical effect of electromagnetic wave, it is due to the electric field. So there we discuss the electric field part, because changing magnetic field is not responsible for the visible effect of the electromagnetic wave. We will understand it in just coming step. And it is also called as the light vector. This electric field in the electromagnetic wave, it is also called as the light vector. Okay, next is electromagnetic waves do not require material medium to travel. Of course, they can travel through material medium as well as through the vacuum. Just as all the rays which are coming from the sun, they have to cross a lot of empty space before reaching the surface of the earth. So that means the electromagnetic waves, they necessarily do not require any material medium to travel. They can even travel through the vacuum. Okay, an oscillating charge which has non-zero acceleration can produce the electromagnetic wave, because an oscillating charge acts as the oscillating electric field. Oscillating electric field, it is nothing but the electric current, right? And this oscillating electric field, as we already know, is the source of the magnetic field, oscillating magnetic field. So that means an oscillating charge is giving rise to electric field, and electric field is giving rise to the magnetic field. So that means oscillating charge produces both electric and magnetic field, right? So that means it is the source of electromagnetic wave. Okay, so Frank Hurd made an experiment to verify the existence or confirm the for the confirmation of the existence of electromagnetic waves. So he performed an experiment. The setup of experiment is just as this. There are two copper plates, copper or zinc plates, to which two metallic spheres are attached through metallic rods, which are separated by very small space, about 2 or 3 centimeter, right? These metallic rods are attached to the induction coil, which produces a very high voltage, right? So this is the general setup, and close to this setup of two metallic spheres, another set of two metallic spheres mounted over a metallic ring. They are connected through the metallic ring and separated by a small space between them. It is placed. So this first system creates the electromagnetic wave, and its existence is known by this second adjoining setup. So whether the electromagnetic wave exists and travel, it will be detected by this second part, right? Two spheres of second part. So let us try to understand how this works, the Hurd's experiment. So there are two plates, copper plates or zinc plates, to which the two spheres S1, S2 are attached through metallic rods, and across these two spheres a induction coil is attached, which produces a very high oscillating voltage, about several thousands of the voltage. Okay, so this a combination of two plates it creates, and the spheres, it creates an LC combination. It behaves as a LC combination, as we have discussed in case of our chapter on alternating current, LC oscillations. So this makes one system of LC combination, and this also makes one system of LC combination, right? Okay, so how this works? So whenever very high oscillating voltage is given to these two spheres, the charge starts accumulating on the spheres, right? And due to which, whenever the charge becomes very high on the two spheres, now it want to move away from the sphere, right? So the air between the two spheres, it is ionized. So this charge wants to get discharged or neutralized, or we can say want to travel away from this sphere. So it is possible only through whenever it is so high, so that it ionizes the air around itself, or we can say it ionizes the air between the two spheres. So whenever ionization of the air takes place between the spheres, the charges, means ions which are created, travel from one plate to other plate, or one sphere to other sphere between the spheres along this space. So that creates a changing electric field due to the motion of these ions between the two spheres. Whenever this high voltage creates so large amount of the voltage on sphere S1 or charge on S1, S2, these charges want to get discharged. So in order to do that, whenever they become sufficient high, they just ionize the air around, or we can say in between these two spheres. On ionization, these charges has to move in one particular direction, right? So due to which these ions starts moving between the two plates, of course through the spheres. So whenever these charges starts moving between the spheres, they create an electric spark. This electric spark, it is nothing but the oscillating electric field. Now this electric field, oscillating electric field is existing in this direction, in vertical direction between sphere S1 and sphere S2. This oscillating electric field, due to the motion of the charges, creates a changing magnetic field, which also exists between the two spheres, the space between the two spheres. But this changing magnetic field is perpendicular to this direction. So that means it will be perpendicular to, if we are taking that this is the plane of paper on which this diagram is drawn, then the magnetic field will be coming outward and going inward, means perpendicular to the electric field. So that is the changing electric field is creating the changing magnetic field. Both are existing together, and these create an electromagnetic wave. So right at the time whenever the spark exists between the two spheres, due to which some magnetic field is also created, it creates an electromagnetic wave, and at the same time a spark is seen between these adjoining two spheres S1 and S2. So the spark also exists between these two. So that means whenever spark is created, means electromagnetic wave is created, it has traveled through the medium or without medium, and it has created the same effect between these two spheres S1 dash and S2 dash. Hence another spark is seen between these two spheres. So that has clearly confirmed the existence of electromagnetic waves which travel, right? So this is how the understanding of electromagnetic waves is confirmed by the Hertz experiment. This was the very successful experiment and confirmation of the electromagnetic waves. So this spark is quite bright whenever these two spheres are parallel to these two spheres, or we can say these two spheres are along the direction of variation of the electric field, or in other way we can say that these two spheres are in a direction perpendicular to the magnetic field. Magnetic field is coming out and going in between the two spheres, right, perpendicularly. So these two spheres are perpendicular to it. So maximum spark is seen whenever these two spheres are parallel to these two spheres, because the electric field is along the same direction, and as this ring is rotated, so that the alignment of these two spheres is changed with respect to these alignment. So that means these two spheres are no more along the direction of the electric field. So the spark, the effect of spark goes on decreasing, and as soon as it becomes perpendicular to these two spheres, it becomes we can say invisible. So there is no spark. So that clearly confirms the polarizing nature of the, or we can say polarization of the electromagnetic waves, that electromagnetic waves are polarized. So one more thing in here to understand is that electromagnetic waves, in electromagnetic waves, the wave is traveling in one direction, or we can say energy is traveling in one direction, wave is traveling in one direction, whereas the electric and magnetic field, they are changing perpendicular to it. Such a kind of wave in which the variation in electric and magnetic field are perpendicular to the direction of propagation of the wave, such a kind of wave is called as a transverse wave. So that means electromagnetic waves are transverse in nature. So this is another diagram which clearly signifies the variation of the electromagnetic wave. So this is the first point where some electric field is there. Due to that electric field, some magnetic field is in this direction. This red color is the variation of the electric field, and white color is showing the variation of the magnetic field. And wavelength is from one crest to successive next crest. So electromagnetic waves transport the energy through empty space, even through the empty space, and this energy is transported in the form of electric and magnetic fields. So this is all about understanding of the electromagnetic waves. So there are different kinds of electromagnetic waves. You can have a view of it. This is the set, or we can say all these electromagnetic waves are called as the electromagnetic spectrum, just as we discussed the optical spectrum of 7 colors. So you can just read all these electromagnetic waves, their wavelengths, their frequencies, their sources, how they are produced, and their uses. You can just sum up. This is for your reading purpose and understanding. So that's all for now. Thank you.